all. Come on in. Welcome. Oh, am I in the show? Yes. Okay. Heather, this isn't streaming to an audience. Something's wrong. I'm showing that I'm not logged in and it's not streaming. So just give me a thumbs up that you are actually okay on here because it looks like something's not right. I didn't have to push a button. Am I live? I'm live. I'm live. I guess I'm live. Hi, guys. Well, Brenda, Leandra, Rooted. Welcome to my homeschool village. Okay. I'm going to give it a little warm up here. We're just getting started. Welcome to Building Bonfires podcast. This is now a podcast, guys. Welcome to my live podcast, Building Bonfires. That's what we do here in my homeschool village. We teach families how to build bonfires. I'm going to explain to you exactly what that means. What does it mean to build a bonfire? That's your children, by the way, that are those bonfires. I'm going to explain to you what a bonfire is, how we build it, how we raise great children. At the end, I'm going to take all your questions. Okay. So by all means, please come in, you can put your questions in at any time. I'm going to save them towards the end. This is an hour-long show, and we're here to help you along the way. Okay, I can't see the chat either, Heather, just FYI. Okay, so come on in. Becky Storm here with my homeschool village and the podcast called Building Bonfires. We here in my homeschool village teach you how to build your children into bonfires so that when the winds come, they will be able to spread their light throughout the world. And that's what we help you do here. Please save your questions or post your questions. I will answer all of those questions at the end of this podcast, which is in 1 hour, and we'll do that in about 30 minutes. And then we also have a giveaway. We love to spoil our homeschool families, so we will have a giveaway for you at the end as well. So hold on, stay tuned, don't go away, and we will give you both that freebie and answer any questions that you have as we go along. So welcome homeschool moms. I want to share a little story with you. It's part of the reason I started homeschooling in the first place. It's 25 years ago. I was seriously praying about whether or not I should homeschool. We were living in the DC area. It really was not a great place to be putting your kids in school. As a matter of fact, the teachers in our neighborhood would come to me and say, please don't put your kids in school here. And as we were praying about it, I went to the Lord and I asked for help. I am a Christian woman. I ask for guidance in all things. I went to the Lord and I said, Lord, please help me. I don't want to homeschool. And so we were arguing for a bit. Luckily, he's patient with me and he understands that I need to work this out. So I was praying and I said, Lord, I don't want to homeschool my kids. I want them, I had this idea in my head that I needed their light to shine among men. And I kept hearing that scripture in my head that put your candle on a hill that it might light up the world. And I went to the Lord and I said, I need to put my candles on a hill. They hold this light. I feel like they should be sharing it with the world. And I got one of the most direct, clear answers I've ever had in my life. It inspires me to this day. And the answer was, if you put a candle on the hill, when the winds come, when the winds come, that candle will be snuffed out. It's not strong enough. But if you keep them home and you keep them safe, and you build them into bonfires, when they are bonfires, now you put them on the hill and their lights will shine and light up the world because the winds will come. But when those winds come, it will make the bonfire bigger and stronger and more beautiful, and that light will shine. Keep them home and build them into bonfires. And that was the answer I got from my Heavenly Father when I prayed about whether or not to homeschool my children. And that has been our motivator ever since. It's been 20 years now. And I can honestly say, I prayed and I worked for 20 years and not put them out, but to build them into bonfires. Did it work? Well, one day, one of my children walked into a room, or I don't know, they were at some activity, and one of the adults came up to me and she said, something about your children lights up a room when they walk in. And I went, the bonfire worked. And now they are bonfires. Now I have one daughter who's a young mother, wife and mother, and I have one daughter who is in Peru as a missionary. I have another son who's getting ready to move on to his new adult life. And I can honestly say they light up the world. They light up people as they move along. They make the world better. And I'm so grateful that the Lord gave me that inspiration to build bonfires. Now, it wasn't like just keeping them home and boom, the fire started burning. You guys, it didn't sadly work that easily. I wish it had. There are tools that you have to do in order to build those bonfires. And it starts with kindling, right? We're going to talk about like this whole idea of what it is and how to build a bonfire, how to build your child into a bonfire. And you cannot start a bonfire with huge logs and a match. It won't light. So we're going to talk about this a little bit throughout the next several months. And as we go along in these lives, we're going to talk about what it means to raise and build bonfires so that your children, when they are adults, can light up the world because of who they are. So number one, kindling. Okay, the kindling phase is when they're, I would say, below the age of 8. Okay, 8 and under, because they're not even old enough yet to make their own decisions yet. They're still learning what is right from wrong. They're still learning moral standards. They're still learning how to treat other children. They're still learning who they are. I exist, and what exists. They don't even know what's outside the home yet. And so at this point, you're on kindling phase. You're keeping the winds away, right? I don't know how many of you go camping. We're campers, so I'm going to give you these camping analogies. But when you're camping and you've got these, you're starting your fire. If the wind's blowing, don't you have people like stand around it? And you're like, I'll have my kids, I'll be like, block the fire on this side so I can get the kindling going, right? And you're hiding and you're keeping all the water out. You're just really protecting that kindling as you're just trying to light the fire. And that's what you do in the ages between 0 to 8 years old. You overprotect. You can't overprotect at that age, but you are keeping them home. You're keeping them in this tight knit little place where your children where you can light the fire and get the kindling going. And you're just putting in a stick at a time, which means you're teaching them basic moral values. You're teaching them how to be kind. You're teaching them that they are children of God. You're teaching them the basics of humanity in those first 8 years. And it's called the kindling phase. You've got to keep them protected. And this is where the world goes wrong. This is where sending them off to kindergarten at 5 years old is like taking your little kindling and throwing it in the wind and hoping it lights. It doesn't work. This is why mothers are crying when they're putting their kindergartners in. This is why 5-year-olds are crying when they're being pushed out of the home too early to go into kindergarten. These children need to be kept home and protected, and that kindling needs to keep being fed little pieces at a time, little shredded up pieces of knowledge as their little fires gain more confidence and start to grow and grow and grow. And that's why keeping them home is so vital in those first 8 years. Okay, vital in the first 8 years, because you are protecting that little bitty fire, and you just keep feeding and feeding and feeding. Now, about the age of 8, they are now old enough to be able to start. They understand yes and no. They can start making decisions on their own. This is when we start increasing the wood, right? We start giving them bigger pieces of kindlings. And there's sticks now and twigs. Notice they're still not logs. You put a log on that kindling, you're going to snuff it out. You need to put little kindlings, little logs, little sticks, little sticks, and you're feeding that fire. And from the ages of 8 to 12, you just keep feeding those little sticks. What does that mean? That means that you're introducing them to reading, writing, math, science, history. You're introducing them to gardening. You're introducing them to the world. You're introducing them to who they are, what they could be. You're not expecting them to decide who they should be yet, guys. 8 to 12-year-olds should not know who they are. They don't even know enough about the world to decide anything yet. Your job at this point is to provide a buffet. Your job is to simply go in and show them all the options that are out there and allow them to taste. Let them take piano for a few months to find out that's not really their instrument, and that's okay. Let them then try drum and guitar. And the idea is that they're tasting until there's something that tastes right to them. And I'll tell you, and we're going to jump into another analogy here because I love analogies. And that's just how I'm taught. My children have each preferred a different musical instrument. We originally started out with the idea that all of our children were going to learn to play piano, and then after that, they could move on to something else. That worked for child number 1 because she fell in love with the piano. Child number 2 was okay with it, but she fell in love with the guitar, so much so that she taught herself from YouTube videos until We finally got our lessons on a good guitar. Child number 3 has decided he does not want an instrument, and that's okay. Child number 4 loves the ukulele. Child number 5 is a drummer. Now, here's the interesting thing about this. As they've gotten older, I have discovered that their instruments actually match their personalities smack on. Child number 1, who loves the piano and all things singing, also loves to have every note just right. She wants it all lined up. She wants everything on a piano. When you're playing a piano, you know when somebody misses a note. And that's the kind of personality she is. Child number 2 and 4, who love the guitar, are children who love the music, but they want a little bit more freedom to it. They want to put a little funk in it one day with a little sadness in another. And that's kind of who they are personality wise. And so their guitars reflect that as well. Child number 5, the drummer. So drums, you don't have to play a single note as long as you keep that rhythm. You can add in whatever you want. You can take out whatever you want. You can mix it up however you feel you want to mix it. And as long as that rhythm stays on, he's the rhythm keeper. He keeps everybody on the rhythm. That is my last child. He keeps the rhythm in the house, so positive and happy, but he's always mixing it up in any way he can. And that drum fits his personality. And so what we've done is we've allowed each of our children to find the instrument that they need for their personalities. And it helped teach us that it was that way with math too. Each child needed a different type of math teaching. Some needed a book, some needed online, some needed because it fit their personalities. Each child needed to learn to read differently. One child used a program, one child used an online program, one child used a particular book, one child used scriptures. They were all different, all 5. And this is what it's like. So as you're building these bonfires, you're literally going to be taking sticks and introducing them. My children could not have picked an instrument had they not known the instruments existed. Now, there are a couple instruments my children wanted to test and I didn't want them to. Trumpet and trombone. I just wouldn't do it. I can't handle the sound. It drives me insane. They actually asked and I was like, guys, mommy can't do those sounds. You're going to have to pick something else. So fair, probably not. But I don't know why, but I have a sensitivity to those brass sounds. And once they're played beautifully, they're amazing. But the practice sounds I can't do. And so that's where I drew the line. But that was the idea, is that each child needs the freedom between 8 and 12 to be able to test out the world. Even from 12 to 18, they should still be testing. But at that point, they're starting to dive in a little more. They'll go in and say, oh, I like that stick. That stick burns better here. Let's add more of that. Or, and my other analogy, as a buffet, your children from, in the kindling stage at the buffet. Wow, I hope I don't have too many analogies going here to confuse you all. But you tell them what to eat. You tell them what to learn. You give them everything. Then from 8 to 12, you start mixing you have to's with try this. And you're going to eat this, but try this, right? You're like, eat this vegetable, but try a little bit of the crab. Whereas at 12 to 14, they're going, okay, I like crab. I'm going to eat more crab. And the macaroni and cheese and the chicken nuggets and the corn dogs and the lettuce and the carrots. And at 14 to 18, they're starting to go, I like math. I think I'm going to do more of it. I like Legos and building with my hands and mechanics. And I'm going to dive more into that. And that's what happens in the 12 to 18 years. There's the 12 to 14 that are little, and they kind of mix in there depending on girl or boy. All of these will overlap and they'll change depending on your child and the age that they are. So what we're going to do and what we're going to focus on is how to build bonfires, how to go from kindling to a huge, bright, burning bonfire of a child who's now an adult, and how they spread their light throughout the world and serve others and help others and become these great leaders in the world. And isn't that really what we want for our kids? I hope and pray that my children are a million times better than I ever have been. And this is the recipe to do so. And it came through inspiration over 20 years of learning, practicing, failing, and coming back and getting feedback from my kids. My kids will give feedback. Allow that feedback. Your children have got to have the freedom to give you feedback on their learning, on their education, and how it's doing. Okay, you've got that. Oh, hi, Priscilla. Okay, so we're building bonfires. We're working on that. So we've got our kindling stage, which is 8 and younger. We've got our twig stage, which is 8 to 12-ish. And then we've got our wood stage. Now we're still not into big logs yet. Okay. We're moving over from the ages of 12 to 18. You're going to start adding logs, which means you're going to start adding in meatier education. You're going to start adding in deeper discussions. You're going to start adding in politics and government. You're going to, as they get older, you're going to start explaining to them the uglies of the world. You're going to show a news and discuss what's really going on. I keep my kids' brains and knowledge out of the news as long as I can. There's just no reason for it. By the time they've worried about it and moved on, it's all old news anyway. So I do not expose my children to news articles, social media, any of that until they're at least 12, depending on their maturity levels. And even then, I introduce them to the evils of the world very slowly. I do want them to be fully aware by the time they leave my home, what is out there, how to stay safe, the internet, in the dangers of the internet, plus the benefits of the internet. I want them to understand the dangers of the human race, but I also want them to have complete faith and hope in the human race and how amazing people truly are and how kind they are. So it starts out as very much a sheltered life, very sheltered. And I believe that's intentional. I believe that's a good thing. I've had people put me down because they're like, well, your kids are going to be sheltered. Yeah, I hope so. Children should be sheltered. And as they turn into adults, you can open up the world to them, but don't open up the world until you give them a tool to deal with it. So if you're going to teach your child about human trafficking, then you better make sure they have a tool to know what to do about it. How can they fight this evil in the world? How can they keep from being a victim? How can they don't teach the problem until until you are willing to give them a tool to fight against it, or all you're doing is providing fear for your child. We're not here to set up our kids for fear. This is what schools do. Yesterday, we had a complete shutdown. Was it yesterday? 2 days ago. Our entire county shut down, or not shut down, but like locked down. All the kids in school were locked down tight. And here's the thing that really bothers me. I love that they're trying to keep the kids safe. I mean, what else are you going to do, right? But there was no tool given to the children so that they didn't have to be victims. The child was locked up, protected, but now they all went home feeling like victims, feeling like there was nothing they could do, that the world out there was going to hurt them and there was nothing they could do about it. And that is not what I want my children to learn. I want my children to learn to have tools, whether it's self-defense, whether it is weaponry, whether it's just knowledge of how you treat a stranger so that you don't become a victim. These are all things that we teach our children so that when they go out into the world, they are prepared. I don't want my kids to be so naive, right? But that's not something I'm doing to my 8-year-old. They know enough to keep them safe, but it's not until they're 16 or even, well, old enough that mom's dropping them off somewhere that we have the conversation that says, these are the dangers and here's how you handle it. It's about teaching your children not to be victims. And that's a huge deal. As a homeschool mom, I want my kids to know they are never a victim and to know that they have power, they have tools, they have abilities to keep them from becoming a victim in any way. It's called setting boundaries. It's called knowing your rights. It's called knowing who you are and what should be expected and treatment that you will and will not accept. That's what my mother always taught us. I did not teach you to be a doormat. That's what she'll say if we go to complain to her about somebody's behavior of us or something, the first thing she says is, I did not teach you to be a doormat. Stand up and go do something about it. And that's what she would tell us. So, all right. I would love to hear your questions as we go along here. Please pop them up in the chat. It is May 1st today. Welcome. It is the month of vacations, you guys. Homeschool vacations. Public schoolers start vacations in 30 days. Make sure yours are done because they're all going to be out there. This is the month to hit the beaches and to hit the Disneylands and whatever is going to be very crowded in 1 month. This is the month of discounts. Grab them as homeschoolers. This is the month of get out and go. This is where you meet other homeschoolers because they're out and about. They're tired of doing their curriculums right now. And I imagine so are you. So this is the time to get out, get about, meet other homeschoolers at parks, at libraries, wherever it is. This is where you're going to find them out. So make sure you're taking full advantage of May. And yeah, put your curriculum down. Your kids can do an hour or less a day. They'll keep up everything that they have learned. You won't have to go back and do any kind of review later on if you keep doing a little bit every day, and you should be taking full freedom. May is really, we take it off. We just don't. We want to be outside too much. So this is your permission to fully let go, let your hair down, and teach your kids how to enjoy the weather. Okay, there's a lot to learn outside right now. Lots of science going on. The tomatoes go in after Mother's Day. That's in 2 weeks. You can start planting your tomatoes. And that's a great lesson as well. Never plant tomatoes before Mother's Day. That was my grandfather. He was a gardener till the age of 92 when he passed away. I didn't listen to that one enough. All right. Okay, how can I help you guys today? I want to help in any way I can with your homeschooling, with your questions. I thought I saw a question here on. Did you have one? Let me check real quick. I thought I saw one, so I just want to check. I don't want to make sure that as you're coming in, you guys, I'm going to give away a little something here at the end. Close to 1 o'clock. It's 12:20 my time right now. So in about 40 minutes, or 30 minutes, I'm going to give you guys a code to get some freebies. And who doesn't love free stuff? Anyone here love free stuff? Give me a thumbs up here if you want a freebie from me. I imagine, okay. Okay. Yeah, let me know if a freebie is what you would like to see. I would love to send something your way. It's chapstick. My lips are already falling apart here. Yes, Mama wants freebie. Okay, we are going to give away. Did you know that if you are on our email list, we will spoil you rotten? Every Friday, we give away some sort of resource that will help you. We've given away planners. We've given away unit studies. You name it, we're making your homeschool life easier by giving you every Friday. We drop it in your inbox. If you're not on our email list, make sure you do, because our email list is, you get the first links. You get, if we have something that is limited, we don't have enough, we give it to our email list. And then if we have more, we let everybody else in. So if you are not in our email list, go to the link in our bio, sign up for our freebies, and you will be in on that email list, and you will make sure that you will get all of those. So make sure you're signed up for that, because literally every Friday we will give you something that you will love. I promise. Hey, Patty. Okay, questions. We are in May. You have permission to let go of your curriculum. If you're not currently happy with your current curriculum, you also have full permission to start over. Not start over. Who wants to start over? Move on to others. Okay, there is no reason to stick to something that's not working for you. Also a great lesson to teach your children. If it doesn't work for you, move on. It's called boundaries. We don't have to be a slave to anything, anyone, or any program. That is a very hard lesson to learn, I think. An extremely hard lesson to learn. I am not here to be a slave to my curriculum. Repeat after me. I am not a slave to the curriculum I purchased in September. Guys, this is no matter how much you spent. Most curriculums will resell on Amazon, eBay, or Facebook Marketplace. So if you're not loving your curriculum, resell it. And then we have, in my homeschool village, we have a program, summer program. So you can go in, your kids can be in there playing Minecraft during the week. And our Minecraft education group, they can be doing the book clubs and the art clubs. Those will be going on throughout the summer. So if you're wondering, what am I going to do with my kids? And then you see all these like school camps everybody signed up their kids for that are an arm and a leg. You can just come in and work or join our virtual village, and your kids will get a summer program, reading, all of that included. And so we go throughout the summer. Oh, here we go. Coffee is making me sick. Any moms have alternatives? Well, I can tell you what I did. I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't drink coffee. I am LDS, or a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and we don't drink coffee. We do, however, drink caffeine, and I do drink. I have a specific pre-workout I take, but I also work out. So I replaced, or I use a pre-workout in the morning called Super Pump Max. It's on Amazon. Tons of vitamin B's. I drink it, go work out, and I feel great throughout the day. Who else? I want to know what everybody else is doing. Trying to keep up with her 4 babies. Sleep. Also look into vitamin B's. Make sure you're getting your D, vitamin D, your vitamin K, and your vitamin B's. Make sure that's going. Any moms in MHSV going to the Orlando Homeschool Convention? Anyone? We were going to go. Turned out my niece is getting married that weekend, and so we were not going to make it. But yeah, anybody else going to the Florida Homeschool Convention, let us know. Megan says, I want to keep schooling through the summer. What is the best way? Because they don't want to do anything because the schools don't. Okay. Excuse me. Let me reword that. All right. So Megan wants to know, how do you keep homeschooling throughout the summer when your kids don't want to and fight it? I'm going to answer that question for you. Okay. Here's what I discovered. My children, when they are home for the summer, even their public school kid friends in the neighborhood who are free to play generally can't play till noon anyway, because their own mothers they're sleeping in, and then their moms want them to get some work done before they're allowed to go play. So I knew that I had till at least noon. The pools weren't open until then anyway. Sorry. The pools weren't open anyway. And so what we did is we told our kids that they had to get their homework and jobs done by noon. We used my Homeschool Villages program, Homeschool Pro, and then they would work for an hour. Okay. They'd get up, they'd do some reading, writing, math, maybe some science and history. The whole program takes less than an hour in the morning. And as long as they got it done by noon, they were free for the rest of the day. And that's how all kids are. All good parents are still making their kids work or do some sort of chore. And we just discovered that nobody else was really willing anyway. And guess what? Most of our days, our homework's done by noon anyway. So really nothing changed, other than in the afternoons, rather than doing artwork at home, we were going to the pool or a beach, or, doing something else. So what I would do is I would sign up for my Homeschool Pro. If you're not already in there, if you're in there, just keep them going. If their homework is taking more than an hour, maybe switch it up, cut it back. You can even do Mondays and Wednesdays is math, and Tuesdays and Thursdays is writing, if you wanted to break it up like that. But just keep them going so there's no review time. It's that lost when they go too long, and then you have to spend months reviewing and redoing, I feel is a total waste of time. So does that help, Megan? You want to keep them homeschooling through the summer, use my Homeschool Villages program, do less than an hour in the mornings, let them go play. That's all you got to do. When you homeschool, your children only need 1 to 2 hours a day, depending on their ages. The younger, the less time, right? The older, the more time. But they don't need more than that. They're actually getting more learning during those 1 to 2 hours a day, 3 to 5 days a week, than they're getting in the public school system, because it's one-on-one work. It's faster, it's more efficient, they can learn more. And so they need less actual work time than a public school uses, because I got news for you. Public schools don't actually use 6 to 8 hours to teach. They're not actually teaching. If you were to condense exactly what they did into time, it would probably be 1 to 2 hours. It is literally a waste of time. Your children are more efficient on their own. They learn faster on their own. They need less time on their own. There's no reason to take too much of a break. And when I say we take a break off, like we take May off, I mean from lessons. We take it off from co-ops. We take it off from taking on new projects. It's more about our projects are playing. Play is vital to your children. Play is vital to you. Do you know why we have so many parents who are stressed and with anxiety? Because they're not playing enough. We need to be playing. Playing is important to our self-esteems, to our health. And it's important for us to teach our kids that they don't have to work 8-hour days, guys. Even adults, we don't have to work 8-hour days. If you ever met a rich entrepreneur who runs several businesses and probably works 2 hours a day, 4 tops, and they're making millions. It's about working smarter, not harder. Your children, when they're working at home, are working smarter, not harder. And that's the key that you're teaching them. And those are skills that will move on for the rest of their lives. And it will make them into entrepreneurs, great entrepreneurs, because they don't like the status quo of working 8-hour days for the man, right? They're going to have this freedom burned in them, that they can work 2 and 3 hour days because they learn to work smarter, not harder. So remember, I know it's hard for us as moms who were raised up in the public school system to make that switch, but we have to, so that our children don't. They'll be able to not make that switch. They won't have to. It'll just be a natural source of their lives. And that's where my kids are now. A natural part of their lives is you work hard in the mornings. And then in the afternoons, it's play or outdoor, or that's our lifestyle now. That's just who we are. It's what we do. It's 1:00. We're done for the day. And at least with the hard stuff, we get our work, our jobs, all of that done first thing in the morning. We get it done before lunch. We have lunch and we take the rest of the day for our own personal interests, for playing together as a family. Sometimes we're all in different corners doing our own thing, and sometimes we go off and do something together. And the beauty of it is we can. And that's the beauty of life. How much is the Homeschool Pro? The Homeschool Pro right now, it's $35 a month per child. So you can upgrade that and include the Virtual Village Kids, which, by the way, Virtual Village Kids is included for just a little bit longer. You got about 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, there's going to be some changes going on in my homeschool village. We've been working really hard on the back end. Right now, you're going to see a lot of changes. We're rebranding. We're creating our website. We are fixing a lot of issues I know that you guys have had when you go to our website. We have been really busting our butts the last few weeks, and the next 2 are going to be even more. And we have got something on Mother's Day. It will all come available to you, and you will see. So in the meantime, make sure that if you were going to sign up, I would do it now, because things are changing. Okay, that's your warning. All right, what is in it for the summer? So the summer program is going to have the Minecraft education for kids. Okay. It's going to have the book club. It's going to have, and the book club is, okay, here, let me explain a little more about the book club and all of it, really. The book club, they meet and listen to a book on Zoom. Okay. So your children aren't reading out loud, so they're not feeling insecure if maybe they're behind or, none of that. They listen to the book for an hour or even 30 minutes, and then they discuss the book and what it's teaching, what it's talking about. And then when they finish the book, if there's a movie that goes with it, they watch the movie all together on Zoom and then discuss and compare. So that's the book club. And every month is a new book. Our art club, they have a Wednesday, there's an art assignment on what they're going to do. And then on Friday, they come and show their work and get to share their work and what they've done. We've got some seriously talented kids inside my homeschool village, you guys, and it's bragging and it's so fun. It's not bragging, it's show and tell, and we love it. I love the show and tell time that the kids get when they're showing their projects. And then we have the Minecraft education. Now, Minecraft education is on our server. So they come into my homeschool village's server, and when they come in, we do from 4 to 6 Eastern time. They come in, we have a world set up with a job that they have to do, and they work together and they can talk on Discord. Now, these children can also break off into their own groups. It's on our server still, so you're not getting anybody but who is inside my homeschool village. But once they break off into their own groups, they can actually meet up whenever they want and talk to each other whenever they want. Those are not overseen by us. We cannot get in. We cannot look at them. I mean, we can kind of see, but we don't have control because whoever opens the group has control. So then we have groups. We have a bunch of girls that broke off and created a girls only group. And we have a bunch of 12-year-old boys that broke off and a boys anyway. And it's fine. Just know that as parents, you have got to watch yourself or your own children on those. That's a parent's responsibility, but it's still on our safe server. But every Monday through Friday, we have a 4 to 6 where all the kids can come into one group and build and play and work together on our very safe Minecraft world. So we have those 3 things. And then we have, what else do we have, Heather? We've got a summer program coming up, which is, are we still doing the science camp? I'm looking for her. I'm not sure. I actually don't run that group. It's coming in though. They're still working on some very fun activities for the rest of the summer that your kid can come in and check in on and do different assignments and fun things. Okay. Current members, will your price change? No, we do not change. The only time we change a current member's price is if it goes down. And if it goes down, we will let you have that. But whenever you are currently in, if you've purchased and we raise the price, you keep your price. There is no like current members lock in their price for life. We have somebody in there still paying like nothing because she signed up when we first got started and didn't have that much. So yeah, we keep and honor your price. Once you've signed up, that's your price. If you cancel your account and re-sign up, you will have to re-sign up with a new price. But our current members, once you're in there, you're locked. So the price is changing. Not a lot. There's just some changes we have to make in order to make things clearer for people. But if you do want the current price and you want everything included for that $35 a month, you might want to be getting in there now. You got 2 weeks and then everything changes. Hi, Sherry Baker. Welcome. All right. Any questions today? Everybody's kind of quiet. I think we here have beautiful weather. If it weren't for this live right now, I'd probably be out gardening. So I imagine there's a lot of people gardening right now or out just enjoying this beautiful spring that has finally come. Let us know, how can we help you here in my homeschool village? What is it that you need as a homeschool mom? What resources are you looking for that maybe we could share? Or we have found that we usually have what you're looking for, and I can get you that. And if we don't have it, we like to find it for you. So let me know, what resources are you looking for? What questions do you have? How many of you are not actually homeschooling yet, but are getting started and have questions? Let me know how I can help. In the meantime, let's get to, I don't have a code. Heather, did you tell me a code? You need to type it to me somewhere. Maybe it's in my messenger. What's our code for the day? We're going to do a little giveaway here. For those of you who stuck around, thanks so much. We're going to give you a code for a freebie as soon as Heather tells me what that code is, because I'm sure she told me once and I didn't write it down, because that's what I do. Are you there, Heather? There she is. Okay. Code, please. And let's get a code out for you guys so that you can go to our website at www.myhomeschoolvillage.com. Your code is on the screen. Oh, that is the code. Free. FREE. I'm like, what's free? She put a big free up there. Okay, the code is on the screen. Go to myhomeschoolvillage.com. The code is on the screen. It is free, FREE. Go put that in there and we will send you your freebie for the day. And then you will also, by doing that, you will be put on our email list and you will continue to get free things every Friday unless you unsubscribe, which is, you're welcome to do. So make sure you go get that right now. And then remember, you've got 2 weeks to get everything all done or signed up if you're going to. Okay, go to downloads, go to the website, go to downloads, enter free, FREE, under downloads, and you will get your new download. Enjoy that. And she's not telling me what it is. She says you have to go in to find out what it is. So we've got a lot of great stuff in there. So it wouldn't matter what she's giving you. I'm sure it's awesome. So thank you, Heather, for that. Heather is our brain and she loves spoiling you guys. She's the one that comes up with them and I just announce them for you, but she has got something great for you. Okay. Any other questions? We're going to cut this one short today because you're quiet. I'm happy to answer the questions, any questions that you may have. But if you're not going to ask them, I am going to close early and take a nap. Actually, I've got to go pick up some kids, but hi, Yo-Yo, welcome. I'm trying to think, like, I don't even have any questions in my head right now of things. Usually I have several questions I've been asked throughout the week and my brain's got a little numb right now. So if you have any, let me know. We are no questions. I'm shutting down, guys. Love having you here. Thank you for being here today. So glad you're here. Will there be some programs for kids with special needs? Oh, Chloe, all our programs work for special needs. And I say that honestly. So Heather, the other half here, who has created all of the programs, actually has a special needs child of her own. And she is extremely good at making sure all of these things work. All of our programs, because of the way they're built, work for special needs. You might need to do a little tweaking, and we can show you that. When you sign up for Homeschool Village or the Homeschool Pro, we don't, so like when you sign up for another program, you sign up for like say 4th grade, right? Time for Learning, for example. You go in and you sign up for 4th grade and you get all the 4th grade stuff. But what if your child is behind in reading, like 3rd grade level, but in math, they're like 5th or 8th grade level? What do you do? Well, I don't know how they're doing it, but we make it so that when you go in, you have full access to all grades. So you sign up one child, but they have access from pre-K to 12, so that if you have a special needs child who is 15 but needs some 2nd grade work, that's okay. The thing is he can go in and do it, and he doesn't even know that it's 2nd grade work. It's just work. So you can go in there and customize. He might need a 2nd grade history, a 4th grade science, a 6th grade math, and an 8th grade English, whatever. You have full access to that so that you can go in and customize those programs for your child's special needs. If you are a homeschool mom, this is literally the IEP you need. So you create the IEP, you create how it is, and then we provide you the buffet, and you go in and pick what works best for your child. There's like 3 or 4 different math programs in there, so you can pick which one's going to work best for them. We've got everything from the printables to different online programs, all in one program, so that you can go in and decide what works best for your child. So everything we do has the special needs kid in mind. Okay, just know that. That's, to us, it's like to create a program for education without special needs children included is ridiculous. Like, why would people do that, right? We're moms. We include children. We're inclusive. We love all children, and we help all children with all of their needs, whatever they may be. So yes, we have things in there that fit them. And if for some reason something's not quite working, we have on our website inside on our dashboard, there is a little button where you can sign up for an actual interview. It says it's a Calendly. You go in and you create not an interview, an actual time slot with one of us, and we can go in and actually check with you and like help you customize. So that's part of the program too. You just go in and be like, hey, can we talk on Wednesday at 5? And you set the time, and then we'll do a live chat or live call with you online and help you figure out what you need. So that's part of the program included. So make sure that you check that out if you need something like that. But yeah, all special needs children. Between Heather and I, we've had multiple special needs, ADHD, dyslexia. I could go through the list. There's been Asperger's. Anyway, you name it. We've been working with you on it. So yeah, love to help with that. I kind of think every child is a special need child. I think the fact that we pull out certain children and say they're special needs and not others is actually a disservice to all children, because I have had children who were normal, but they also had some special needs. They had some different things that I had to tweak for them. They had things that they didn't quite understand for a while. They had little issues that if I had taken them to school, they wouldn't have been diagnosed with anything, but they still needed their own little path that I had to tweak. And that's things that we help you with in my homeschool village. So every child's a special needs child when they come to my homeschool village, and we help you create an individual education plan for every child, because that's what they deserve. That's what they need, and that's how they grow, and that's how they thrive. So we're here to help you with that. All right, guys, have a beautiful week. We will be here next week, and next Wednesday, 12 o'clock is my time, Mountain Time, or 2 o'clock Eastern Time. We are here every Wednesday and love to help you out. In the meantime, you're welcome to ask any questions that you have throughout the week in our private group or on social media, and we'll either create videos or get right back to you and let you know how we can help. So thank you so much for being here, and you guys have a beautiful week. Remember, go get that freebie, discount FREE. Go grab it. Have a good one. Bye-bye.